Well, I thought the intro was going to run. Let's try again. That's better. Good morning, everyone. All right, so it is 8:50, and we have about 40 minutes to the bell. And as we sit right here, we've already got some action pre-market on a couple of different stocks. So it looks like we may have another interesting day, although have to, of course, always manage risk. Yesterday was fairly choppy. So what do we have in front of us today? Well, our leading gapper in the entire market is showing his staff. But if we pull this stock up, what you'll notice is that this is a reverse split. False alert. For reverse splits, in this situation, it's actually not gapping up. It's a 6-to-1 reverse split, which would make it seem like a big gap, but it's not. Second leading gapper is Meds, and I've already traded it. Right now, however, it's extended and it needs to pull back. Right now, at this very moment, it's got a bit of resistance at this level of about 815. What's interesting on Meds is you've got a headline that came out at 835 and it squeezed from 450 straight to 850 without a single red candle on the 1-minute chart. Not a single red candle. So clearly strong, showing a lot of strength, but also clearly getting a bit extended. So that one's on watch for sure. CPOP was an IPO yesterday that went from $12 to $34, and pre-market right now is at $56. This one is also going to be worth watching, but for traders with an appetite for risk, because the price is higher. The spreads are bigger, and while it's a stock that could make a big move, it's also one that invariably will be whippy and choppy and could result in some pretty big losses too. So at the moment, Meds and CPOP are kind of the two that I think are worth watching. I want to make sure as we are starting the month that the trades are high quality. I will be starting my small account challenge on Tuesday. So today's the first day of July, so I'm going to be able to get my account set up. So I didn't want to set it up prior to this. If I set it up in June, for instance, I would have to pay data fees for the month of June. And I didn't want to pay the data fees for June. So today is going to be just a day where I get the account set up. For Warrior Pro students, we'll talk about the hotkeys and everything else. And then next week will be the first day of trading in that account. So Meds, ATHE, second leading gapper. Is there anything else I've been missing that you guys have looked at this morning or that you thought looked good? Right now, my watch list is kind of slim, which is okay. It's if there's one obvious stock, that's usually better than 5 so-so ones. I think that an area on Meds that we have to be careful of is 68. So if it comes down to 68, it's kind of like right at this moving average, but you can see how this is a bit extended. DIDI. Let's see. Yeah, I see that one. So IPO sold off. I'm not really sure about it at the moment, to be honest. Meds. I'll take no, I'm gonna wait. Here's the thing. It's just a little too extended on the 5-minute. I gotta wait. Gotta restrain myself. Gotta wait. Too much risk here. I'm gonna wait for it to pull back down towards the 70s. The first 5-minute candle to make a new high would be over 815. So a trade through that level would have to be smaller size. Let's see maybe if I can get a dip off of 75 or 85. I think that would be better. We're in a wedge pattern. Okay, so here you go. So I'm taking a dip there, buying that dip, and now looking for the trade through high a day. So I'm going to put an order at 850 on this. So remember, we get the breakout, high is 29. 29 is the add spot now. Added at 28. Now looking for the squeeze up to 850. And over 850 will be my next add for 875. So I'm going to be a buyer over 65, 75, and 85 for the squeeze to 9. Added right there. So looking to ride this momentum. There's 65, there's 70, 65. Can we get that break? Adding at 64. Sold for right now. New order. I'm going to put at, I've got to increase my max share size on this. I'm going to put my new order at 75. It didn't break 75. It hit a high of 70. So now I'm going to look for a dip trade. 5,000 shares at 46. Little dip. And I switched to my retirement account here. So get a little cushion in my retirement account. So the high of this candle's 70. As a reminder for those tuning in on Facebook and YouTube, trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money, and you should assume that you will also lose money, and my results are not typical. I'm going to put an order here at 75. So added right there at 64, and I'll add again at 75. And now I'm looking for the squeeze up over $9. So high of that candle's 81. 81's my next add spot. There's 70. Let's see, 70 on the ask. I'm in there at 55. I think kind of like what we had yesterday, what we're seeing are strong gappers. This is our second leading gapper. High is 81, and I think that dips will continue to get bought up. So I'm going to keep trying to buy dips. Added right there at 64. And looking for the breakthrough 81. Nice, good work. Mike, $2,000 on meds, good for you. Added at 77 for the break of 80. And now I'm looking for that squeeze. High of this candle's 81. So I added at 80, just like I said I would. And I'm going to wait for this to break through 85, 95, and see if we get that test of $9. 1082 is our daily resistance level. All right, so let's see if we get that breakthrough 85, 86. There we go, there's 80. $83. A little chop there. Buyer at 72, holding 313 shares still in my retirement account. All out in my main account. The high on this is 86. New orders at 95. I'm going to look for a dip for my next trade. We still, at this point, could benefit from a pullback off of 850, which was the previous resistance level. So where is the next trade? High is 86. I thought we were going to get the break of 9. So now I'm thinking we had a 1 minute pullback right here. And then this one was kind of choppy. Perhaps, I don't know, if we need a 5-minute setup. Nice, Andre. $3,500 of profit on meds. Good work. Good for you. It's up 100%, just about. I'm looking for 850 for a possible dip. So in this area, this is sort of consolidation. It could break to the upside, but it could also break to the downside. If it breaks to the upside, I can buy, but I can't go in full size. If it breaks to the downside, then I can look for an entry off of support. Those tuning in on Facebook and YouTube for the pre-market watch list and the live day trading morning show, thank you guys for tuning in. Please hit that thumbs up as soon as you get logged in if you enjoy the live broadcast. Starter at 60. So 60 is close to where I want it to be. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Now adding at 85 and adding at 9. So now I'm looking for this to squeeze up to 925 and 950. So 910 is my next add. Added right there at 909. So on that dip trade, I bought 40,000 shares. And I'm adding again here at 903. So looking for the squeeze up to 925, 930, 940. It's a pretty clean dip trade. Holding 3,400 shares for right now. High is 17. New order is at 920. We didn't get the break of 925. But can it hold 9? I'm going to give it a chance to see if it breaks 9, because it may break 9 to the downside because it's so extended on the 5-minute. But, you know, we've got that 1082 daily level. I don't know that we're going to go right to it, but a little false breakout there. Watching. I'm watching support at $9. I'm adding at 904. So bought at 904 because it's holding support at the whole dollar. And now over 915 is my next add spot. No, cut it at 98. So took the loss on that. If I buy at a whole dollar and added at 83, 6,000 shares at 83. If I buy at the whole dollar and it breaks, I get out and then I get back in. So I was in at 903, now I'm in at 983. I'm in 20 cents lower. So that's a better average. Taking half off the table at 93 for 10 cents. And size down for right now. Let it pull back. Still holding a small position in my retirement account at 855. The low down here was 78. That could be a dip. That would be a little bit of a riskier dip trade. Order at 904. CPOP is still on watch. Yesterday CPOP, I missed the entire move. All of this was without me. From 12 to 36, I missed the whole thing. But we may get an opportunity on it today if we get the break over 58.27. But meds right now, I think, is the obvious stock. The price is right, the float's good, the news is there. It's got a history of being a momentum stock. Yes, it sold off a bit on this day, but it still has a history of making these big moves. So right now, this sort of looks like a bit of a bear flag, but the support is around 78. And we've got 25 minutes to the bell. Bought the dip right there at 89 because of that big buyer that I just saw in the 70s. So as soon as I see a buyer like that, I jump in. Our high a day is 920. So over 920 here, I'm adding, and I'm looking for the squeeze up to 950. So I'm going to put my order here on this, 941, 951. High of this candle is 23, watch 25. When 925 breaks, then I would expect a move up to 935, 945, as it descends up to that $0.50 of 950. This is a 10-second micro pullback. I'm a buyer over 930. So still holding right here at 99. And I'm waiting for a micro pullback to add in my main account for the breakthrough 950. Watch a dip off of the whole dollar. Added at 913 right there. So bought the dip, now looking for the break through 935 and 940 for a test of 950. So there's 19 on the ask. I want to see 925, 930, 940, and that continued squeeze through 950. $925 is the next level. We've got 17 on the ask. So a little bit of a dip. Stopped at 903 there, and I'll sell the rest there. So made a little bit in one account and lost a bit in the other on that trade. We hit a high of 29. It didn't break through for 950. Nice, Andre. $6,700. So it's a question there. If I hit my daily goal, should I keep trading? And my approach right now is yes. Once I hit my daily goal, I keep trading, especially if I hit the daily goal in the first 15, 20 minutes, because the market's clearly hot. Right now, we've got this stock that's really strong, but it is extended, and it's getting a little top heavy up here. So the high was 29, but on slightly decreasing volume. So I gave back a couple $1,000 on that last trade, maybe like $2,500. So, you know, we've got a doji, a second doji, maybe time to wait for a little bit of a cleaner pullback. There's certainly risk at the open that this could drop. While I would like to see it squeeze at the open, there's no guarantee that'll happen. Trades in this area, we're at the 9 moving average, we're at our yellow support line, but we're right underneath the whole dollar. I think we're starting to get into the territory of a possible dip. I'm going to look for dip trade entries. This candle right here is red, which is okay. The low there was 78. 75. Low of this candle here, 75. So the first candle going red is an indicator usually of the reversal beginning. So pull back off the high. I want to be a little careful buying dips if the momentum is starting to shift. Volume is declining a little bit, so we want to see volume increase. But if I see a big bid, that could prompt me to take a stab. So the low of this candle was 75. So as soon as 75 breaks, we have the first candle making a new low. And then we may get that pullback down towards 850, which would be fine because the volume weighted average price is at 822. Dip trade at 64. Only 4,000 shares. And that's a 10 cent, just about a 10 cent winner. Profit at 72, and let's see if I can get any at 74, 75. Now these little dip trades, these are not going to be full-size trades for me for right now. These are just small little dips off bottoming candles. Notice our 1 minute 20 moving average is right down here at 58. I sold a little bit more at 77. I took a dip there because it was a quick flush. So you could see bottoming tail candles like that where you have that rapid flush on higher volume. I usually like to buy those types of dips. Now the problem yesterday with CEUN was that it did dips like that, if you recall, but then it would drop another $1 a share. So it would drop 20 cents and then it would just keep going. So like this one here, this was a 3.3 million share flush rejection up to 880 and then down to 7. It did it again right here on this candle up to 890 down to 785. It did it on this candle right here up to 925 down to 765. So these were really nasty, but that's not typically what we see. That was kind of unusual and I'm not really sure what was going on there. So what's more common is what you just had on meds where you get like a 20 cent drop and I still have some shares at 64 and then it pops up a bit. That's more common. Now this is still extended right up here for sure, but the longer it stays up here, then the better it looks maybe for trades at the open. So sitting up 32,000 in my main account, 5,900 in my retirement account. So I think at my high, I was up 39,000 today. So right now I'm up about 38,000. So I've given back a little bit off the top, but not too much. Not too much yet. I got to be careful. So I'm wearing my lucky cactus today because it's the first day of July. Trying to get myself excited here for the new small account challenge starting in starting on Tuesday. So I'm looking for another dip down to the 60s. So let's look at our volume profile. Volume is decreasing right here, quite a lot. And you know what? That right now is actually, in my opinion, a good thing because decreasing volume during a pullback means you have some healthy profit taking. So adding right there at 75, some healthy profit taking is okay. Again, just a dip trade. I didn't really expect it to come back up that much. So let's just see if it gets back over 9. I'm in at 75. And I'm taking all but 2,000 shares off the table. So the thing is, I was thinking 75 to 85. I was thinking 10 cents. That one popped 25 cents. It's a little more than I was expecting. So I have to take it off the table. What I was hoping is I could start positioning myself for maybe a 5-minute setup, the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, which right now would be over 904. So I got to wait for a pullback and then add there into the first 1-minute candle, 5-minute candle to make a new high. So we're watching, this candle's about to close and then a retest of 29. So added right there. Now looking for the squeeze up to 35. This type of trade at the open, coming into the open, is usually a strong one. Looking for an add at 45 for the break of 850, a 950. Adding right there, 45. Now looking for 50. Can we get the break over the $0.50? Added again at 43. Taking some profit at 48. Adding at 47. I'm going to try it again for the break through the $0.50. Cost basis is 34. Watching 47.48 for the break through the $0.50. There's 45. Adding at 41 right there. There's 47, there's 49. So I keep trying to get that break and time that break through the $0.50. Orders at 51. 5,000 shares. I'm a buyer at 51. So waiting for 48 to print, 49. Watching. This is a 1 minute micro pullback, 14 minutes to the bell. 12 million shares of volume, up 113% on news. And I'm going to add at 50, orders at 51. Added right there for the breakthrough 50. False breakout, holding 1,000 shares. I'll let it dip a little bit. High of that false breakout was 54. New order goes at 55. 5,000 shares. Take a little bit more of this off the table here as well. High of this candle is 54. New orders 55. We've got 13 minutes to the bell. So I'm still holding a position here at 875, which is a great position. Here I'm in at 944. I'm in a little high. We've got a yellow ascending support line down here. Added at 37. A dip off that yellow line right there is my add. We have 10 seconds left on this 1 minute candle, and then I'll look for a second attempt at a breakthrough 950. So orders at 956. "12 minutes to the bell. Sold that flat at 37 and 33, actually a small loss. I'm going to let it pull back again and reposition for a lower dip. So another pullback as we get closer to the open. Thanks, Andrew. So I've got 700 shares still at 875 in my retirement account. And we've got 10 minutes to the bell. We're now below this yellow line, but I'm not sure. Since it broke below it, it was valid back here. We got below it, back above it. So we'll see how it trades in this area. Looks like some people just bought that dip off of 19 and 20. I missed it. CPOP was the other one that was on my watch list. But it's a bit expensive. we've got 10 minutes to the bell. So wait for a little pullback. While this is pulling back, let's look at the rest of the scan. So back to the top of the gap scanner, we've got staff as our leading gapper. However, it's kind of a false alert because it's a reverse split, 6-1, 1-6. So that one we're not going to trade, doesn't really have any volume. Meds is our second leading gapper, up 101%, 109% right now. A bit extended, the volume weighted average price is 848. It could pull back to 848 and still be bullish. So have to be mindful that it's extended. I do still like it. I have a small position I'm still holding in my retirement account. So I'll see if I can get some more trades on this as we get further, well, maybe to the open and then further into the day. I think it's important to note on meds how well the last dip got bought up, the one down to the 70s. It got bought up really nicely. So, and even that right there, that little dip to 11 bounced right back up 20 cents. So we're seeing some nice bounces on this one, which is good. I'll keep it on watch. BLIN, this one, it's a little tricky because of yesterday's red candle, so I'm going to leave it alone. BGI, I'm going to leave this one alone as well. The chart doesn't look that great. WNW, this one is one that made a really big move on its IPO. It went crazy. It went from $7 all the way up to $160, which is why I'm watching CPOP, because CPOP yesterday IPO'd really strong. So knowing that recent IPO pattern is important. WNW right now, I don't have a lot of interest in, to be honest. It's below the VWAP. It doesn't really look that great. But it's a good reminder of why CPOP is worth keeping an eye on. Now CPOP with a pre-market high of 60, it's gapping up right now 79%. And we need to force a update on our scans because it IPO'd yesterday, so it's not on the gap scan. So that we got to update that. But it is a gapper of 77% right now. It's got about 1 million shares of volume, and you can see the spread is 52.80 by 53.75. So that's where we're getting a little bit more risk, bigger spreads. I like the idea, but it's expensive. And with big spreads, there's a lot of risk. So this would be appropriate for anyone willing to take high levels of risk, and I don't even know if that's going to be me today. I'd probably wait to see if it can break through either the pre-market high of 60 or this level here at 58.12, 58.22. Those would be two levels to keep on watch. So I'll just put the order maybe at $60 for like 1,500 shares. So it's kind of ready to go. Could it squeeze at the open, right into a halt? It could, and that's the FOMO in me that's like, oh, I don't want to miss that if it does that kind of move, because sometimes they do, but I just have to manage the risk on it. So CPOP is on watch, and then some of the others on the gap scanner, MRIN, I'm not really looking at that very closely. First daily candle to make a new high would be 1347. Meds, nice dip, got bought up again. I'm going to wait though. I'd like to see this 5-minute candle close, maybe red. It's a little bit of a pullback. Again, pullbacks on light volume are what we like to see. It's showing that it's holding the support of $9. So probably if I got in this, I would be managing risk versus a $9 stop, but I could always stop out if it dips and then add back lower, which is what I did before. All right, so let's see. And the high there was 48. So I guess the question now with 5 minutes to the bell is what folks think looks best today. So I don't know what you guys are kind of honing in on, if you're getting more dialed in on CPOP or meds, but maybe share with me what you think you're watching at the open. Kind of helps me make sure I'm pointed in the right direction. CPOP is at 56 and now 57. 58.22 is that level there. So a couple people saying CPOP is a little too expensive. It is moving up here. Thing is, if I got in like right here, for instance, I'd be getting it at 57 and it was at 54 like a minute ago. So it's up $3 a share. But if it breaks through 58, then we could be looking at $65, $70. So that's, but even with 100 shares, that would be $5,000 in buying power. So 100 shares, you have to get 5 points to make 500. 500 shares of meds would be about the same amount of buying power. You can probably make more money on meds. At least meds has better volume, so you get in and out pretty fast. So this kind of actually, to me, if I'm going to be honest, you have a red candle here. And the way it's at the low, it sort of feels like it might dip down a little bit right here. I could see it breaking, but the thing is, we're extended off of our 9 moving average and the VWAP. I'm thinking maybe looking at this as a red to green trade at the open might be the better approach, but let's just see. And unfortunately, CPOP, I'm afraid it's just going to go without me a bit. There's 57.50, and now I'd just be chasing it. I can't chase it up that high. So just got to wait a second. Hang on one second. All right. Man, there's 58.70, 58.90 on CPOP. Pre-market high is 60.12. Makes me nervous. It's just the kind that could make a big move, and I don't know which way it's going to go. There's 62. There's 62.50, 61.50. It drops $1 a share on that spread. We've got about a minute to the bell. So, well, now it's up $8 a share. But, you know, all things considered, all things considered, I'll probably be better off focusing on meds. So keep an eye on both, but meds is lower float actually, a little bit I think. The volume is much higher, so risk management will be a bit better on it. First 5-minute candle to make a new high on meds will be at 9:27. So I'm watching, like I said, for a red to green. So I'm not buying yet. I'm going to let it dip off of like 850. So let's see how much it pops up there. I haven't gotten a good dip trade on it yet. I got to wait for a good dip. COCP is halting up, but whatever. Waiting for the dip. So the low is 880. High of this 1 minute candle is 920. Watching meds, adding there at 10 for the break of 20. So now that it's starting to show its basing here, I'm looking for the squeeze up to 50. Taking a little out at 33. COCP now halted down. You know what? And I told you how nervous that one made me. That's why. Watching, holding 1,500 shares on meds. Reversal. Can I get a dip trade here off of 80? Buying the dip at 79. So dip trade on meds. Holding now just 1,200 shares. Reducing size. CPOP, it looks like it did a false halt going up at 66 and reversed to 57. So I'm glad I focused on meds. That one was like the shiny object that I saw potential in, but I was scared. So meds, first 5 minute candle did make a new high. We have high red volume. VWAP is 65. Okay, so now it's coming back up. We're on a roller coaster. The dip got bought up. Adding right there at 30. Now looking for the squeeze through 50. And a rip up to $10. Over 65 is my next add on meds. Adding there at 48. So looking for 55, then 65, then 75. So right now, I'm looking to buy, adding at 30, buying the dip. This to me is a long for the break through the pre-market high, 850. Watch over 45 and 55. This is a 10-second micro pullback. Adding at 40 right there. Sizing in here for the break through 850. And then looking for the squeeze up to 975. There's 48. $38. Stopping on it for right now, lost 5,000. It should have broken. I'm concerned the longer they hang out without breaking, the higher the likelihood of a false breakout, and then what could be a 50-cent loss. There's a lot of selling. Adding back at 99, a dip trade. So I lost about 4 grand on that loss, trying to make back a little bit of that. I don't know if we're going to get the break of 950 now. There's a lot of selling up there. It should have broken 950 right here on that candle right there. Right there is where it should have broken 950. CPOP halted down at 57.67 is showing a $62 resumption, which would be pretty high. VWAP on meds is 78, but now we're starting to get into some choppy price action. I don't like those big red candles. Sold the rest in that account. Size down there. I'm going to look for a dip off the VWAP of 78. So opening candle I'm showing is green, but not by a lot. 24 million shares of volume now. This will probably have over 100 million shares by the end of the day. So as a reminder for those tuning in on Facebook and YouTube, in case you didn't already know, day trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money. You should expect that you will also lose money if you're a beginner trader. And with that expectation in mind, trade in a simulator before you ever put real money on the line. My results are not typical, and you should not try to blindly follow me or anyone else for that matter. CPOP is just too volatile, and I can't trust it. MRIN, 1330. We knew that the previous day's high was 1347. So some people may be watching that. It is halting up at 1331 right now, $1 a share. Nice momentum on MRIN. Straight up. Missed it. So you could see this is curling up again, but each time it curls up, it rejects and then drops. So waiting for a dip and then confirmation to prove strength. The low there was 911. Maybe a dip off of $9 for meds. High of this candle is 39. Added down there at 902, dip trade. So bought the dip, now looking for 925, and then over 925 I'd start to add for a break of 950. So I'm beginning to get dialed in here. 925, then 935, 945 to anticipate the break through 950. We still have 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. Added there at 17. Next add will be 25, then 35, then 45. Added right there at 25. So starting to scale in here. Watch this over 35 and then 45. Adding at 38. Can we get the break through 950? Watch right here as it comes back up for a second attempt at 950. Bought the dip, 905. Our 5-minute chart is still good. We're still looking for that break through 950. Cut the loss, 20 grand. We'll shut it down here. Up on the day, about 40,000. So I was up 49, now I'm up 29. Thought it was going to break 950. But $40,000 is a great start to the month. So with that, I'm done for the day. Gave back too much of my profit, so I'll live to trade another day. Warrior Pro students, we're going to jump into the classroom and we'll get started around 10 a.m. It's only 9:40, but I got to stop. I can't lose any more. So going from up 60,000 to up 40,000 is too much of a drop for me. I can't keep trading. So I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we have another good opportunity. Thanks for those tuning in on Facebook and YouTube. Nice opportunities this morning. Hopefully you got green on meds and stayed green.